So Andrew Martin, one of our students, reached his first 1,000 subscribers in the first 9 days of starting his channel. As we can see right here, he even had 211,000 views in the last 48 hours. Then he actually got monetized in less than a month, as we can see right here, and then went ahead and posted. All it takes is just one video, and that can't be more true. This one video made him, which got 240,000 views, made him $1,500 and just keeps on getting views. Because why? Because we teach our students how to build long-term channels. All right. Now, for the people who don't know who I am, I'm Stefan, 23 years old, and in this video, I'll show you exactly how you can do that too. Now, just so you know that I know what I'm speaking about, I'm currently doing around about $30,000 to $40,000 a month with my own channels and constantly starting new ones, as we can see right here. I've made $42,000 with just 2 videos, and then I've built a channel from $0 to $48,000 in just 30 days, and then I've helped hundreds of other people do the exact same thing. For example, here Martins, we've helped to make $31,000 in just 30 days. Then here a different student, $12,000 in one single month, here $24,000 in one single month, and many more here, some smaller ones, $4,000 in a single month, $8,000 in a single month, many more. If you're interested in getting the exact same results, check out the first link in the video description and book a call with me. Call will be with me, and we'll have a look if it makes sense to work together or not. Now, with that being said, let me show you guys exactly how we built this channel here of Andrew Martin to being monetized in less than a month with over 3,000 subscribers, going ahead and making $1,500 with one single video. I'll show you guys everything in today's video, so make sure to watch this until the end. It's gonna have like 6 steps, and after that you'll know how to do this yourself as well. Now, step 1 is gonna be finding a niche. And with finding a niche, we have specific niche criteria, and the first criteria is they are under 5 smaller channels creating content in this niche that are constantly getting more views than they have subscribers. This means there is high demand and low supply. This is one of the most important things to always kind of keep in mind when you are looking for a niche. You need to look for a niche that has high demand and low supply. And if I always say, like, if you don't put in the work before you even start your channel is going to fail. And that's going to show when you start your channel. All right. Then there are no channels with over 100,000 subscribers. Why? Because it's just going to be extremely difficult to compete against these channels, because YouTube is already trusting these channels, because these channels, or YouTube already knows that these channels make the viewers happy. And that is what YouTube wants. All right. Then there are no channels that are failing, because if there are hundreds of channels that are already failing, what makes you special to actually be able to succeed in that specific niche? So make sure that there are no channels failing. The niche is not older than 6 months, super important, all right? Because in most cases, if the niche is older than 6 months, there will be a bunch of channels that are failing, and there will be a bunch of channels that have over 100,000 subscribers. Then I can create better content than my competitors. This can also just be longer content. All right, can also be longer content. Then I'm actually interested in this niche, not a must, as long as you build a team that actually has interest in that niche. Is the niche monetizable? Super important, because otherwise you're not going to make any money. And then a huge bonus if you can post long videos in that niche, because then you can obviously make more money. Like, if you post long videos, you can place more ads, and that will automatically increase your RPM. All right. Now, very important is that this does not need to be 1,000% with all niches you find. It's very difficult to tick all of the boxes. Okay. It happens like here once or twice a year, and when it happens, that's exactly where you blow up a channel, exactly like I did with this one. All right. Now, something or tools I would recommend for doing niche research here, Next Level. It's like 13 euros a month. Most of you guys know it probably. It's, in my opinion, like the best tool you can get for YouTube automation. Then vidIQ, the free plan is more than enough. Now, how are we actually going to do niche research? So we are actually going to use a dummy account to do niche research. Now, this is basically an YouTube account that we only use for doing niche research. So we don't use this account for anything else than niche research. the YouTube homepage has changed to our advantage, and YouTube got extremely good at predicting what we are wanting to or what we want to watch. And we can use this to our advantage to train the YouTube algorithm to only show us faceless niches on our YouTube home tab. Now, instead of me explaining all of this, let me show you how you can set this up yourself, because once you have a dummy account set up, you can find, no joke, endless niches with it. All right. Now, this here is my dummy account. Here we can see this is, let me reload. All right. To show you guys how cool this is. So here we have a faceless niche, faceless niche, faceless niche, faceless niche, faceless niche. Just as an example, this niche here, I don't even know this. Okay, this niche I actually know. So I'm not going to look at that one, but let's see. Here, this one, History Never Lies, one video, 4,000 subscribers. I don't know this channel, right? And YouTube just gave it to me. So let me show you how you're going to set this up. So you're basically going to go ahead and you're going to create a new YouTube account. Right, I'm just going to simulate this with a, with a incognito account, and all my students have to do this. All right, you have to do this if you want to be successful with YouTube. All right, you have to go through this process. Now, what you're going to do is you're going to go to the search bar, and anything you are interested in, for example, let's say biggest cars or airplanes. Let's do airplanes, something new. Let's do airplanes. Then, we can take our cursor and we can just hold it on the video, and then we can see, is the video faceless or is it not faceless? So for this one here, just as an example, we can see this video is faceless. So we click on the video, and then we just go ahead and we subscribe to this channel, like this video. We want to show YouTube that we are interested in seeing videos about airplanes. All right, now while this video is playing, we can already go here to our sidebar and start clicking on other videos about airplanes. So let's say, for example, this one here. The important thing though is that we only click on videos that are faceless. All right, here we click now on a different one, then we do the exact same thing. Best case, we find a channel that is only posting videos about airplanes. Let's say, for example, this one. All right, also posting airplane content. Then this one. Now we want to do this for a while. Like in most cases, your YouTube homepage won't be fully optimized after doing this for 2-3 times. You will have to sit and do this for maybe half an hour or something. Just go through your YouTube homepage here on the sidebar and just click on faceless videos about airplanes. Whatever you're interested in, can be, no joke, anything. Then we go back to our YouTube homepage, right, like that. And now on our YouTube homepage, we can now see faceless video, faceless video, faceless video, faceless, 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 not faceless, faceless. And something we can also see is that they are here and there. We can already see videos about airplanes. Now, what we want to do is these videos about airplanes, we actually want to click on them to show YouTube that we want to watch videos about airplanes. And that's how you optimize your YouTube homepage, all right? Now, once your YouTube homepage is optimized, you can actually go back to it. And then I would highly recommend you guys to use NextLev so you can actually see the subscriber counts below the channels, because otherwise you're going to click on a bunch of channels that are already big, that are getting a lot of views. But here, for example, you can see, okay, this channel has 8,000 subscribers, got 28,000 views. Then we want to click on this channel. Then we can firstly use here vidIQ and see like, okay, 300,000 views, pretty strong. Then we can go ahead and we can go to similar channels with NextLev, all right? As I said, I'll link it in the video description. You can click on similar channels, click on in-depth search, then it's going to search a bunch of competitor channels in that exact same niche. So you can actually see like, hey, how many people are actually doing this exact same content? Then we can go to analytics. And this is super cool because here you can now click, see, and here we can now see, okay, this channel has a $5 RPM, views getting 1.3 million views a month. And this channel is currently making around about $4,500 a month, probably because it is a very new channel and it has not been monetized for a very long time. So I would highly recommend these tools. Now you guys know exactly how to do niche research, but how can you actually go ahead and create new niches? This is something that many people want to know. Now, creating new niches using the niche transfer method is probably one of the best ways or best things you can do. All right. So instead of blindly copying something everyone is doing, we use the niche transfer method to like literally 1000x our results. This is essentially taking proven concepts and moving them to a completely different market on YouTube. This can be anything. The title, the thumbnail style, the video style, no joke, this can be anything. All right. Now here are a few examples. So for example, if we look at this Medieval Times Discovered channel, this channel, was one of the first channels posting how medieval people lived, right? Then this channel took this exact same content style and moved it over to, how did people live before fire, like cavemen, all right? Then this channel took the exact same style of content and took it over to how pirates lived. Then this channel took the exact same style of content and, moved it over to homeless people. So they basically, what you do is you take something that is already working and mix it with something else. And the cool thing with that is that you, in most cases, have a pretty high chance of firstly having something completely new and something that can actually work, and you will be the first one in that niche. All right, which is super, super cool. So the niche transfer method is one of the most powerful ways of actually, creating a new niche. And this is these days known as niche bending or something. Not completely sure. I still use it niche transfer, or I still name it niche transfer method. All right. Now, step 2. Once we picked a niche, it's all about speed. All right. We need to be fast. YouTube is player versus player, and the player who's going to be the player who's going to play the game the fastest is going to win. So we need to create content, and we need to do that with speed. All right. Now you have 3 options when you're approaching content creation. You can either do it yourself, all right? You can do the hybrid method, or you can fully outsource it. Okay. Now, doing it yourself has a few advantages. Like, for example, there's basically no cost, 100% profit margin. You learn new skills and you have full control over your channel. The disadvantages are it's not very, very scalable because you do everything yourself, extremely time consuming, learning takes a bunch of time, and without you don't make any money, right? Now, the hybrid method is super cool, and this is what most of our students actually start with, because the advantages are it has low cost, you do what you enjoy, and you have more control, right? The disadvantages are it's only partially scalable, very time consuming, or not very time consuming, but it does take a little bit of time because you will do some kind of task in the process of, creating the videos. Some capital is required, and without you, there's no money. You don't make any money if you're not doing anything, right? Then we have fully outsourced. Now, some of our students also directly start with this. We actually give our students freelancers, and that's why our students are so fast. And if you're interested in that as well, check out the first link in the video description, book your call with me, and we'll have a look how we can scale it up together. But if you fully outsource, it's not very time consuming. It's extremely scalable. You still have over 80% profit margin. You have time freedom. You work with experienced freelancers, and without you, there's still an income. All right, because the team can still continue to create videos. The disadvantages are that it does actually require some initial capital. I say $300 to $500 a month if you want to fully outsource, depending on the niche, should in most cases be more than enough. All right. So then step 3 is actually choosing good video topics. And most people forget that supply and demand is not just important in the niche, but also in the video topics you choose. And this is exactly why we do especially this with our students as well. So we choose the niche with our students, and we choose the video topics with them to just make sure that they go into the right direction from the beginning on, and they're confident that they go into the right direction from the beginning on. All right. Now, how do we actually find demand? We look at recent outlier videos on competitor channels, so recent videos that have gone very viral on competitor channels. Then we look for recent trending formats all over YouTube. And what we do not do is we copy the most popular videos from our competitors. So if you would now go ahead and you would copy this exact video one-on-one, I promise you that that your video will not get any views. All right, because this is what everyone does, and your videos will fail. And keep in mind, you're always looking for a gap in the market because of supply and demand. And if there's too much supply, For this specific topic here, just as an example, for the demand, like the video is not going to get any views. Okay. Now, how do you actually find supply? Use your YouTube search bar and look for how many people have created the exact same video. All right. Then if it's been done more than 3 times and you don't have a different angle to that specific video, look for a different topic. Okay, just go ahead and look for a different topic. YouTube will always show the videos to the hardcore fans of that niche first, and if they have already seen that video multiple times, they don't have any reason for clicking on your video except if it follows a different angle. Very sorry to say that. And this is a big mistake that a lot of people that are today struggling with YouTube are doing. They're all doing this mistake. All right. Then one more thing for choosing video topics, choose your own video topics. Don't let your team members choose your topics. Do it yourself, all right? You know how this stuff works. Most of the editors and so on don't know how it works, okay? Then, how does a perfect topic look like? A perfect topic actually resonates with your audience, so you have to ask yourself, do they even want to watch this? Some topics sound super interesting but are super boring, so make sure your topic is not boring. Make sure your topic is posted on time if it's a trend, and then repeat what has done well in the past. You can see it on this exact channel. I just do what works best. All right, that's what we want to do. Leverage negativity. Humans respond better to negative things. Then we have the topic transfer method, which is extremely strong. So this is by far the most powerful way to choose video topics. What you essentially do is you find something that is winning, or you find winning video topics in other niches and move them over to your niche. This can work insanely well if this is done correctly. So here we can see now, here just as an example, the caveman and the medieval example, right? Why you wouldn't last 24 hours in medieval times, why you wouldn't last 24 hours in Stone Age. Perfect example. Same thing here with the dogs and the cats. This video got 2.5 million views. So this guy went over, did the exact same video for dogs, and it blew up on a very small channel. All right. Now, this is exactly what we did with Scott, who went from, literally getting 50 to 100 views a video and almost giving up on his channel to $200 days in within a week. And, have the whole interview and everything on this channel. So just go to my channel, go to videos, scroll down a little bit. If you see, this face, then this is a guy who's absolutely crushing it right now, due to, just changing up the topics a little bit. Then double down on what works. Once you find something that actually works and gets views, why would you want to reinvent the wheel? Double down on that topic until it does not work anymore. If you have something that works, do 80% of that and 20% test new things. All right. This has worked extremely well for Andre. Went from, just being monetized to $31,000 a month in just 4 months. And he's been doing that consistently, right? As I said, we're building long-term channels. Now, if you're interested in getting the same results, check out the first link in the video description. Go ahead and book your call with me. As I said, I'll be on the call. Then step 4, you actually want to go ahead and you want to set up your account. So we use brand new accounts, aged accounts, or personal accounts. These are my favorite accounts. I don't really use pre-monetized accounts. All right. Now you want to protect your channel from day one. So we use different email addresses for every single account. We use different AdSense accounts for every single account, and we use different browsers, and we use different Chrome profiles. And no, you do not need any proxies, anti-detect, and so on. There's a huge hype around those things. You do not need it. All right. I've never used those things before. Okay. And I'm completely fine. Now, creating the channel should not take longer than 10 to 15 minutes. This is a task that you can do very, very, very quickly. Okay. Now, what you though want to do once you created your channel is you want to warm up your account. We warm up our accounts to increase our trust score. Now, trust score is how much does the platform actually trust our YouTube channel. Now, what accounts need to be warmed up? New accounts and aged accounts. These are the only accounts that you need to warm up. How do you actually warm up your account? You use your account as a normal user, watch 1 to 2 hours of content per day, subscribe, comment, and like to different kind of YouTube channels in your niche. Make sure to not act like a bot. Then you do this for 1 week plus to lower the risk of a low trust score, and then always have 1 to 2 warmed up channels ready to go. Because keep in mind, the player who's going to play the game the fastest is always gonna win. Where's it? Here. We need speed. All right. So we always need speed. Then step number 5, is testing the niche. So I follow this exact process with every single niche I get into to avoid spending money on videos that will never ever work. So first thing, we do niche research, then we choose an account, right? Then we choose 15 or 10 to 15 video topics. We write the script with ChatGPT. The voiceover we do with 11 Labs or any kind of voiceover tool. Also here for the script, we can use, no joke, any tool to write the scripts, all right? For the video editor, we can either do it ourselves or we can hire a video editor from Upwork or any of these places for like $15 to $30 to just put everything together. For the thumbnail, we use a freelancer or we just do the thumbnail ourselves. And then very important for the video length, want to make sure our video is longer than our competitor video. Why? Very simple, because YouTube is always going to push out the video that keeps the viewer on YouTube the longest period of time. And if your video is longer, you just have a way higher chance of keeping the viewer on YouTube for a longer period of time. Then for the thumbnail and the title, this should always be something that has already worked in the past. I cannot push or stress this one enough. Like, you guys need to start doing some research into your thumbnails and your titles. You want to work with stuff that has worked in the past, all right? Now, once we have that ready, then we go ahead and then we want to post, all right? So we post, skip, post, skip, post, post, skip, post, okay? Now, one of two things is gonna happen. Either the channel is actually gonna blow up, then only we are actually gonna continue to post videos as we do, as you see right here. Or, in scenario 2, where nothing is happening, that at that time, we're not gonna post any videos, all right? We're just gonna leave the channel. We actually want to go ahead then and figure out why did this channel fail. So the reasons why a channel might fail is because of the niche, the video topics, the packaging, the video length, or it's a bad channel. You can see it's a bad channel if the videos are not getting any impressions. And in that case, you would delete these videos from this channel and post these videos to a different channel. And if it's still not getting any impressions, then it's probably one of the first four things, all right? Now, in case of the channel failing, I want you to go ahead and repeat this process over and over and over and over again. I promise you, if you do this and you just put in the work and you do and you do and you do, there's no way you can fail. All right. Then step number 6. So now we probably come to the, come to everyone's most favorite part on how to actually make money with YouTube. So we have the YouTube partnership program. This is the easiest way to monetize your videos, where YouTube pays you directly for the views you get, as we can see right here. So here, for example, for 240,000 views, he got paid $1,500. Now, for that, you need 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 hours of watch time. Now, I know 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 hours of watch time sound a lot, but the people we work with get to this point within 3 to 6 weeks on average. And I just had someone doing it again yesterday, as we can see right here. 1,000 subscribers this afternoon, could not be happier. All right. Then how much money can you actually earn from YouTube? So we have a CPM. So this is cost per 1,000 views. How much advertisers pay for every 1,000 views or impressions on their ad. And then revenue. RPM, revenue per 1,000 views, how much you actually earn for every 1,000 views. So if you want to make, $10,000, you just literally need 2 million views to make $10,000. So for a million views, you get $5,000, all right? Now, how can you increase your RPM? Go ahead and turn on alcohol and gambling ads on your YouTube channel, then create longer videos than 15 minutes and place ads using NextLab for every 10 seconds. Alone for this reason, NextLab is super worth it. All right. Now, I hope you guys know exactly what to do now. And if you need any help or want any help, scaling up your YouTube channel, like we did here, for example, for Stamp, who got monetized in 2 weeks, or even here, this channel absolutely blowing up here, $4,000 a month, $18,000 a month, then, go ahead, where the link is, first link in the video description, book your call with me. I'll be on the call and I'll see how I can help you. With that being said, I'll see you in the next video.